Hi guys, UMyuuki here. Welcome back to yet another one of my deck profiles. So today I'll be actually doing the Majestic Lord deck profile. Shall we? Let's get started. So obviously we have the Forerunner. Forerunner on right, draw a card. If your opponent go above, add a quick shield to your hand. Next is the boss unit of the deck. So Majestic Lord Blaster. So Majestic Lord Blaster continuous ability. As a Vanguard or Rearguard, if this card have Blaster Blade and Blaster Dart in your soul, this card plus 1 crit, and then if this card is on your Vanguard circle, right, it plus 5k and 1 drive. So it doesn't say it's during your turn, so meaning that this is a 18k base during your opponent's turn also. So this is quite good. And then if you were to get a trigger during your opponent's turn, it's gonna be 28k, so on and so forth. So it's quite tanky. And then second ability is when it attacks, right, you can choose 2 cards and put it to your soul, and then you get 2 force markers. So it doesn't say that you have to have Blaster Blade and Blaster Dart to in order to do the second skill, so you can actually just shove anything in and then just keep stacking force markers. So yeah, 4 copy of him. Next up, I'm only playing 1 copy of this Grid 4, Escalates the Blaster. Okay, Vanguard ability, on place counter blast 1, choose 1 card from your soul, so blast the rest of the card. Till the end of this turn, this card battles all of your opponent's unit. And then second ability, at the end of the battle it attacks, right, choose 2 cards from hand, put into the soul, choose a Blaster Blade from your soul and write it as a write it as 10. And then if you cannot write, you lose the game. So this guy is a good finisher. After stacking a lot of your force marker around your front rows, right, you write him, you can attack of your opponents. If they are playing Excel, obviously you're gonna do a lot of damage. You're gonna like just attack of their rear guards at once, and then you write the Blaster Blade again, and then Blaster Blade obviously next up is Blaster Blade. So Blaster Blade have this ability, continuous Vanguard circle. If you have 4 or more rears, right, it plus 1 crit. So with all the previous force marker they actually stack up, right, your Vanguard is going to be attacking quite a lot for another 2 crit. And then next ability is on place on Vanguard or Rearguard, counter plus 1, so plus 1, choose one of your opponent front row Rearguards and then retire it. So yeah, I'm playing 4 copy of Blaster Blades. Yeah, so this is to ensure that I'm able to have Blaster Blade in my soul, and then to also help with escalate the Blaster skills. So 4 copy of Blaster Blade. Next up, obviously, if you're gonna play Blaster Blade, you need to have his rival, Blaster Dart. So I'm playing 4 copy of Blaster Dart. So Blaster Dart ability is when it's placed, you can counter on place on Vanguard or Rearguard. You can counter blast 1, your opponent choose one of the Rearguard, retire. And then second ability is egg ability. If your opponent have no rear, right, you can actually discard 1 card from your hand and discard plus 1 drive. So it meaning it's twin drive during a grade 2. And then third skill is continuous. You can play this in a Royal Paladin deck. So it's actually good during early game if your opponent cannot rush, cannot call anything. You can just write him and then plus 1 drive. Yep. So 4 copy of him. Next is the other card they actually gave in the deck. So the other card is you can only use it when you're grade 2. So first skill is if you have Blaster Blade on the field, you can search your deck for Blaster Dart. If you have Blaster Dart on the field, you can search for Blaster Blade. And then if you have both Blaster Blade and Blaster Dart, you can search for Majestic Lord Blaster. So that is that's the reason why we are okay with actually playing just 4 grade 3s. Because we have the other card that can actually guarantee you to get the grade 3 out into your hand. Yep. So 3 copy of it. And then we have Trumpeter. So Trumpeter, her effect is that when she's on place on Vanguard or Rearguard, you can counter blast 1. Choose one of the blaster units and 1 order card from your drop zone and add it back to your hand. So you're able to take back Majestic Lord Blaster, you're able to take back Blaster Blade, take back Blaster Dart, and 1 of the order. So it's up to you. And then second ability is continuous. If you have a Blaster Vanguard, right, this card get boost. So meaning it's a 10k booster. Yeah, so that's why we are actually playing quite a lot of grade 2s also. Yeah. Next up, we are playing Varroa. So the reason I'm playing Varroa also is because Varroa actually helps to pull out like it helps you, like for example if you are on Majestic Lord Blaster, right, and you only have Blaster Blade in your soul, but you are unable to draw all the cards and you are missing Blaster Duck to get the condition, you can call the Varroa out. The Varroa's ability help you search for any grade 2, you can call out Blaster Duck. So later you can use a Majestic Lock Blaster, put the Varroa and Blaster Duck back into your soul, so they hit the condition. So just 2 copies, also good for early game rush. You can flood the field again and attack. So if you flood the field, meaning your Blaster Blade can get 2 crits. Yep. So this is actually a very aggressive deck, as you can see. Next up, for my grade 1, obviously we have Vanguard Brave. So Vanguard ability is Vanguard Regard. Whenever it attacks hit, you can look at the top 7 cards of your deck, add 1 Blaster unit to your hand. So this card is extremely important because it helps you filter your deck, and then it also helps to add shield values into your hand. Yep. So 4 copy, and then next I'm actually playing 4 copy of Elden. So this deck doesn't use a lot of counterblast. The only counterblast you ever use will be for like Trumpeter to actually take back the cards, or you use for Varroa to actually call out cards, or if you use for any of the Blaster Blade or Blaster Duck ability to retire. But most of the time you wouldn't need to. You can just use Elden skill call on call, right? On place, right? Counterblast 1, right? Call a card that's equal to your Vanguard grade. You can draw 1 card, this card plus 3k. So it actually helps add hand size to you. Help add hand size. So I'm playing 4 copy of it. Next is to actually increase more Blaster units in your deck. So meaning when Vanguard actually attack hits, right, you're able to filter the deck even more. So we're actually playing more varieties of Blaster units. So we have Blaster Dagger and Blaster Javelin. So Blaster Dagger ability is continuous, right? Yeah, so if I'm not wrong, this is the one that whenever your Vanguard attack hits, right, you're able to bounce Vanguard with Blaster in its name attack hits, right, you are able to bounce this card from the field back to your hand. And then second ability is a continuous one, right? If you have 6 different name Blaster on the field, right, I'll then get a boost. So meaning your Blaster Blade can boost and all, but it doesn't matter because we don't have 6 different name Blaster on the field. Yeah, so it is good as so-called early game rush also, so you can call it out at the side and can attack, and then afterwards your Blaster Blade or Blaster Duck attacks, right? If it attack hits, right, you can just bounce this from the side back to your hand. So you get back your 10k gut value. Yep. And then next is Blaster Javelin. So Blaster Javelin is just continuing Blaster unit plus 2k, so it's a 10k booster. Second ability doesn't really matter. Yep. So that's my grade 1s. Next is my trigger. So I'm playing 4 heal obviously. I'm playing 8 crits, 4 draws. Draws in this deck is very important because early game you kind of want to get into all the pieces that you need, so you obviously still need draws. Yep. And then like I say, if can, what I do is usually I like to cut early game until the moment I ride Majestic Lock Blaster. That's where I feel comfortable in taking damage, because you're 18k base, meaning your opponent gonna try to hit a lot harder than that in order to hit you. So that means if 18k, if they hit you, the attack hits, right, you get a trigger, you're 28. It's going to get higher and higher, so it's going to make it harder for your opponent to attack, and then you can use lesser card from your hand to actually guard it. While the thing about this deck is the further you get into the game, right, it's going to be more and more pain, especially because Majestic Lock Blaster effect is just to keep on stacking more and more force marker. So it's going to, the longer you drag the game, right, the stronger Majestic Lock Blaster is. So yeah. So that's it for my Majestic Lock Blaster deck. Hope you guys enjoy. If you guys do, just like, comment, subscribe. See ya. Ciao.